Terracotta clay was also used in making pottery, which was made exclusively by women in this region. They would hand build a variety of vessels and then embellish them with beautiful colors, designs, and motifs before firing them at low temperatures. Containers made for daily use hold water or serve as cooking utensils. They also have been used in special ceremonies as an assemblage of objects for a shrine or as funerary vessels containing food to accompany the deceased on their way. Beyond the terracotta workings of the Djenne, much has been devastated. The opulent gold jewelry shown on the figures has been looted in our recent history, and few examples remain to testify to the riches once held by this city. These gold and copper pieces are too few of a sophisticated art legacy. Now I will transition from Djenne-djenno to the art of the Bamaka, who also live in the inland Niger Delta region, just west of this historic trading site. The Bamaka, as previously mentioned, have recentered their culture on pre-Islamic traditions. In doing so, they see and judge their worlds in terms of Nyama, a hot wild energy that is the animating force of nature. Nyama controls nature, the stars, and the motions of the sea. While Nyama molds into many forms, there are people called Nyama Kalau who can shape Nyama into art. These few people are both feared and respected and live in isolation, where they transform materials of the earth into tools, art, and ceremonial objects. The first Bamana art form I will introduce is the Chiwara headdress. In the Bamana belief, a mythical creature, the primordial Chiwara, was the first farmer, a wild beast who taught mankind how to cultivate the fields. This wild beast is a combination of different aspects of different animals, but mostly part antelope. The tall horns of the male Chiwara stand for the tall growth of the millet, which is harvested near the time of the Chiwara celebration. The long ears represent the listening to the songs sung by the women who encourage the men while they work in the fields. The female Chiwara carries the baby on its back and is formed as a pair with a male Chiwara. The zigzag pattern in the neck symbolizes the sun's path along the horizon between the two times in the year. The arch of the neck mimics the cultivators bending their backs. The headdress is formed into a crest mask, which sits atop a dancer's head attached to a basketry cap covered in grass fibers that hides the rest of the body. These Chiwara headdresses are always as pairs and are worn during celebrations of fertility and coming of age, where the marriage-age young men and women are chosen as dancers to put on the masquerade before entering adulthood. As a symbol of harmony between men and women, the ceremonial dance promotes the harvest and increases fertility. The Chiwara is most often made of wood, but can be made of other materials as well. There are also stylistic differences, with some Chiwara shaped horizontally and the others with abstractions of many different animals found in one headdress piece. The next distinct art of the Bamana is called Ntomo, which involves the prepubescent boys of the village. As part of their training in principles of conduct, they wear these masks and reenact the creation of the world. The number of horns at the top of an Ntomo mask symbolizes the important principles: 4 prongs for femininity, while 3 prongs for masculinity, and 7 for the number of a couple. In some Bamana regions, though not all, the ceremony ends with male circumcision and coming of age. And just as the men have their circumcision ritual, the women too have theirs, with bologan fini. The bogolan fini, or simply bogolan, is a cloth painted with iron-rich mud to create dark colors. The intricate process and patterns of making a bologan give the girl the supernatural strength needed to guard against dangerous levels of anyama released during female circumcision. The next kind of mask used by the Bamana is the komo, which is set upon a dancer's head like a Chiwara, but yielded with much larger amounts of anyama in order to direct the social, political, religious, and judicial interactions while protecting the community from social ills. These masks are made to look like an animal, but it is not an animal. It is a secret. The komo are made of mysterious materials to intimidate their audience and to refer to the secret knowledge of the powerful substances and anyama. Komo are closely related to boli, which are essentially portable komo. Similarly covered in powerful substances, the boli yield great amounts of anyama, and serve as a potent guarantee of public security as a defense against witchcraft and antisocial behavior. The last kind of mask is called kore, which is worn by the Bamana in a much more light-hearted context. In a form of theater, these masks are worn to demonstrate and mock irresponsible and outrageous behavior. Taking on features of lazy or wily animals, the masks teach the moral code of the society. Through these various religious and ceremonial pieces, the Bamana have developed an intricate set of arts that are widely varied and serve multiple functions throughout the community. By using inyama, the artists are able to harness this energy and use it towards preserving the community, keeping their art in a reservoir called a kono to house sacred inyama belongings. Pictured here, the art has been preserved along with the ancient rituals from pre-Islamic times. Ultimately, looking at the work of the Djenne-djenno and that of the Bamana clearly shows the artistic variety occurring within the inland Niger Delta. Though faced with a common ancient history, these two cultures have embraced entirely different aspects of art and incorporated it in different ways into their lives. With clearly developed individual styles and techniques, the art speaks for itself and respectably represents the inland Niger Delta region.